No role plays, no conference calls, no BS. Chris and Lorenzo share 4 decades of combined experience to help you become a more effective leader. This is Hacking Your Leadership.
Hey, this is Chris with Hacking Your Leadership, and on this conversation around employee engagement, I want to do a little follow-up to the core Hacking Your Leadership episode that Lorenzo and I did on Monday. We were talking about coaching habits for leaders. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, please go do so. But we had some feedback from some listeners talking about one of those elements of coaching around appreciating people, and I thought, well, this is a great topic to have when we're talking about employee engagement, because I think over time, a lot of people have expressed that a feeling of appreciation or recognition for the work that they're doing has become significantly more important. And it's a topic that resonates with me as a leader of people, because if I want people to engage in their job, then I need to do what they're expressing is important to them. And I grew up in a household where just getting done the things that I was supposed to get done led to hugs and kisses from my mom, and my dad with a subtle nod saying, good job, thank you, move on. And it was this kind of element of this duality of he believed that if I got too much recognition for doing something that I was supposed to do, that it would lead to a complacency or not doing that anymore. He believed in recognition for the above and beyond. And while recognition for above and beyond I think is important, recognition for just doing your job, recognition for doing the things that you're supposed to do, that is incredibly important to a lot of people. And if you're a leader, you need to start getting in the habit of appreciating people for just doing their job in a way that is sincere. I think this is important because if an employee is only getting recognition when they go above and beyond, then they will start getting complacent. You have exactly the opposite effect. If you start giving people appreciation and recognition for just doing their job, the reason why that's important is because they have peers who are not doing that well. And to set them apart from those that are not doing it well is important. If everybody is doing things well, it becomes less of a big deal. But it is important to give that recognition and that appreciation. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's a great conversation, and it's clear that people feel a certain way about it. And I remember back in, it's probably 2-3 years at this point, but do you remember the employee from Burger King? Like when you're talking about it, it reminded me of that like had like 27 years,
right? And
then kind of got like a movie ticket and a Starbucks cup, and of course like the internet went crazy.
Oh yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like what are you, out of your mind? I think they raised a bunch of money for him, but anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
What it tells you though is that like there is this sense of understanding that while you could recognize and do some things for like outstanding work, and when people kind of like really push the envelope or do more than what's expected, yes, of course you want to recognize those things, but you got to remember that like so many people on a team that come to work and just do solid work, do really, really good jobs, do it consistently, do it without requiring a lot of coaching or training or whatever the case is. Like so many more people fall into that bucket, and you want to make sure that they feel appreciated and special. And yes, you want to do the things that sometimes we poke fun at, which is like hey, here's the the Hawaiian shirt Friday, here's the casual Friday, here's the pizza party. Like yes, those things happen, and people make memes about them. They do mean something. But more importantly, that's just kind of general recognition for everybody typically, versus there being a way of making sure that people feel validated personally and they feel appreciated for the work that they do day in and day out, away from the ones where it's kind of like an extreme example of really, really great work.
I like that because I think, in my mind, I was thinking about, Hawaiian shirt Fridays and pizza parties before you even said that, in terms of the tie-in here. Because when organizations get made fun of for doing those things, like, providing donuts or pizza, they're not getting made fun of for providing something for the employee. They're getting made fun of because the perception is that the leadership of the organization believes that those things are a substitute for the daily recognition and appreciation that employees deserve and need and are demanding. And when it's a substitution for that, that's when you have a problem, because it calls out this almost the lack of that being there every single day when you try to make up for it with a pizza party or a Hawaiian shirt Friday. It's like before we had kids, my wife did some bartending, and there was she always said that she liked it better when a person wouldn't leave a tip than if they left like $1 on like a $100 tab, because she at least could in her mind leave there thinking maybe they forgot, or maybe they didn't know, or maybe they thought there was a tip but there wasn't one, and at least she could kind of make peace with that. When it was a dollar on $100, the impression that she got was like, how dare you think that you did okay by giving, like they get to walk out thinking, yes, I gave that person a tip and all is well now. It's like, no, you don't get to have that sense of satisfaction of doing that. I'd rather not get anything. And it's the exact same thing. If you as a leadership team are thinking that pizza parties and Hawaiian Shirt Fridays are the substitution for actual appreciation, that's when you get made fun of, because you don't get to have that sense of satisfaction thinking, I did right by my people because I don't engage with them, I don't coach them, I don't appreciate them, but they got pizza today. That's not allowed, right? They'd rather have nothing than have you think you got away with kind of pulling the wool over their eyes. I think where this is being done right is where it's being done every single day. And I don't mean that pizza is provided every day, because even that becomes superficial. It's when people are genuinely being appreciated for actual things that they are doing, where a leader can articulate an example of what somebody did, even if it's part of their core job description, because it shows that you noticed that they're doing it and that you believe it's important to the success of them and of the team and of the organization. And if you can root it in that, and you can do that often, then first of all, you don't need the pizza party. But when you do it, it becomes just like, hey, I just thought this would be cool today. Not, I'm trying to make up for something that is lacking elsewhere. Where it's not done right is when you wake up and go, oh my gosh, I haven't done this for weeks or months, I need to do something. And you start throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, in the hopes that you can kind of get through it. If you find yourself in a situation where you're lacking this as a leader, and you're not doing this well, you can't fool them. You have to call out your own failure to them and ask how it can get better, because they already know it's a failure. I want to get into some advice for leaders here if they're trying to get better at this. But first, I want to give it toward one of our sponsors. All right, I think if you're trying to get better at this as a leader, the first thing is you have to own whatever mistakes are yours. You have to own the lack of this when it comes to your people, even if it means calling yourself out publicly in front of them as a team or one-on-one, to let them know that you understand that this is important and that you have not done as good a job as you can at this. Have you ever had to do this to somebody, Lorenzo?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that it happens quite often, where it's like you sometimes as a leader, you just have to hit that reset button a little bit and get in front of the team and say, hey, this is something that I've heard, or this is something that I've seen, or somebody brought this up, and I just want to address it collectively. Like, hey, we need to get better here. And we need to figure out a way to make this more impactful. And so, what I'm going to do, and here's the commitment, is that we're going to ask you, we're going to spend some time, get some information, like what are the things that you'd like to see? How would this work? What are some ways that we could do this, and gather some insight from all of you, and then share out what we learn. I think that that's absolutely the right approach to this. Like with most things in leadership, I think if you're upfront, if you're transparent, if you share there's an opportunity, and you're willing to make the changes to fix it, you'll get a lot of grace from the team. But you also have to make sure that you follow through on those things. You can't just say that you're going to do it, or express that it's an opportunity, or send an email and say like, hey, I've heard this. I've heard, like, you got to go out there and really own it, and then lead through the front of that. And I think that in those situations, you'll get a lot of good information, and people will choose. And what you might find out from the team is like, you know what, maybe we don't have a whole bunch of ideas, but maybe this could be a change, or maybe that could be a change, or maybe it's a random thing, or maybe, like, sometimes it's funny because I've heard it both ways. People are like, I like it better when I know when we're going to have a recognition day or a pizza day, because then I won't bring my food.
Right.
Yes. And then you're like, come on, like, I try to do something nice and people don't like, but like, that's legitimate. It's legitimate sometimes. Like, you got to take that in and you have to talk about it, and you have to understand it. And maybe is that a one or two off, situation in people, or is this a larger thing from an office standpoint or from a workspace standpoint? So yeah, I think that you just need to talk and find out and ask questions. And then if the team can see that you're taking that into account, then I think you get a lot more of an opportunity to continue to recognize them personally, and have it be very authentic.
The last thing I want to say about this is that if you think you don't have the resources to do this, I'm positive in telling you this, you're wrong. And here's what I mean. If your people are saying that what they are lacking or needing to feel appreciated and recognized, if what they're saying costs money, then it means you're already failing at the stuff that they need that does not cost money. And those things are being articulated as substitutes for the things that are needed all the time. Appreciating people, noticing the work that they're doing well, and making sure that they feel recognized for that in a way that is impactful to them and in a way that they like being recognized. That doesn't cost anything besides a commitment to doing it and a belief that it is a requirement. If you approach this from a standpoint of kind of rolling your eyes and grumble, like, I guess if they need a cookie for doing their job, I guess I'll throw them a cookie. You shouldn't be in a leadership role if that's how you view this. Appreciating people for what they're doing well, even for just doing their job that they're expected to do, is a requirement. And if you need to muster that up in a way that is sincere, if for no other reason, then clearly you can find examples of employees that work for you that do not do this well. So it's not a given that people are doing this well. It is a given that some people are and some people aren't. And the squeaky wheel tends to get the grease sometimes, and that leaders spend a lot of their time trying to coach up people who are not doing things well, and they don't spend enough time focusing on people who are already doing things well, and those are the people that will leave. So do this the right way for the people who are doing things well. They're less likely to leave, and that appreciation will go a long way in terms of just maintaining that engagement. It is needed and it is noticed. Thank you all for listening today. Join us next Thursday for another discussion on employee engagement. Have a great day.